Romeo and Juliet is a story about love.
It's the foundation, I think, for all romance stories.
The overarching story that everybody, of course, knows is Romeo and Juliet are from two families that hate each other and they fall in love. It's all about them going under the radar, trying to get married, trying to have their love, and everything just goes completely wrong.
I think one of the themes that's really interesting about Romeo and Juliet is the danger of giving in to your impulses. Both Romeo and Juliet are incredibly impulsive, and their willingness to jump so far so quickly can have major consequences. As like Friar Lawrence says, these violent delights have violent ends.
One of the themes that the director expanded on was the stars. Their entire worlds surround their love. And I think Friar Lawrence has to deal with that because he sees Romeo and Juliet, like, if their love is not with them, their world collapses.
Really what captivates me about Juliet is her lightheartedness. I think that that's something that, as a person, really connects with me, wanting to bring a certain sense of innocence and love to everyone that she encounters.
Finding Romeo's character was a difficult task at first for me. I first saw him very, very young. First half he is very impulsive, very childish, but then as he grows and things go down, he does mature and is forced to have this kind of sense of honor and manhood. Once that clicked, everything fell into place. I started finding his voice, how he walked, how he specifically spoke the words he spoke, and it was really a good click.
Romeo and Juliet is probably Shakespeare's most famous work.
Whenever anyone thinks of Shakespeare, Romeo and Juliet is the first one. It's the one that's taught in all the high schools.
And I think it's incredibly significant that we study Shakespeare's works because he's such a fascinating playwright in that he uses his words, like the characters use their words to express how they're feeling.
Everything Shakespeare says is true, right? So everything in Shakespeare is true to that character. Obviously, you have to do your character work, you have to do the table work, you have to do all of that stuff, but in some respects, it's so in the language that you can just really hone in on that, and it kind of just takes up a lot of space in your body, in your mind, in your soul.
Theater in the round was a really interesting experience for me because all of the other theater I've done has been with just the one audience. When I had a scene where I would be moving all over the place, everyone could see like a different angle.
Shows are typically a little bit more fast-paced just because of like the transitions, and it was really fun to have moments where you would connect to the audience or play off the audience.
It was great working with Caitlin and Amanda.
They really bring out the beauty and the joy of performing Shakespeare.
I love that Caitlin always has such a vision.
She's also incredibly encouraging, so you never feel like you've done a bad job when you're working with Caitlin.
And then Amanda is so incredibly lovely. She helped out so much with different things. She was always so open and ready to help.
She sat in on all of our rehearsals and was very gracious to always give notes, to always give feedback or times where Caitlin wouldn't be there, which I really appreciated.
The sword fights and working with Richard was awesome. The first couple things we learned was, all right, this is how you hold it. These are the different positions for this type of sword. He wanted it to be realistic to both the weapon and how you'd fight with the weapon.
Connor and Adam and Matthew, they all were so into it, and it also looked super cool. So it was, I was really excited, and the audience seemed to have a good time with it.
I really did adore this cast, all of them. I'd been wanting to work with Connor. For the past 2 years, we have not been able to do any work together, and I finally got to be a lead role with him in this big show, and that was such a gift. And I felt the same thing with Catherine. I was so excited that she would play my nurse. She would like do my hair before shows. Paul Bonner is another actor that I've admired since, even before I knew him, because I saw him in Misanthrope when I was a freshman.
Everybody was so much fun to work with. That cast was so great.
I've never seen such determination, such love, such wonder in a cast or crew.
I loved the whole experience, and I can't pick one moment because it was all just so great, and I was so blessed to be a part of it.
The more I give to thee, the more I have, for both are infinite. Juliet! I hear a noise within. A two!